Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by green forests and clear rivers, there lived sisters named Mangita and Lina. They lived together in a cozy little cottage at the edge of the village. The cottage had a tiny garden filled with colorful flowers and fruit trees that swayed gently in the wind. Mangita was the older sister. She was kind, hardworking, and responsible. Every morning, she woke up early to help their father in his fruit shop. She loved to see the fresh fruits shining under the sun and carefully arranged on the wooden shelves. Mangita's favorite fruits were the juicy peaches and sweet strawberries. Lina was the younger sister. She loved to have fun and explore new places. She would often spend her afternoons by the sparkling river, brushing her long, shiny hair and watching the clouds float across the bright blue sky. Lina believed she was very beautiful, maybe even more beautiful than Mangita. One sunny morning, as the birds chirped cheerfully, their father told them some important news. "I must go on a long journey," he said gently. "There are things I must do far away. I will miss you both, but I will return someday." Mangita's eyes filled with tears. She didn't want her father to leave, but Lina smiled brightly. "Now I can spend all day by the river. No more chores." Their father hugged them both tightly, then set off on his journey, leaving Mangita and Lina alone in the little cottage. Life after father's departure after their father left, Mangita worked harder than ever. She swept the floors until they sparkled, cooked delicious soups for lunch, and hung the laundry on the line to dry in the warm sun. She cared for the house like it was a treasure. Lina, however, found new ways to have fun, even if it meant teasing her hard-working sister. She would spill water on the freshly cleaned floors, hide Mangita's things, and even sneak cold water into the soup Mangita made. One day, Mangita served soup at lunchtime. "Why is the soup so cold?" she wondered aloud. Lina giggled. Maybe the animals did it, but Mangita was not fooled. Traveling in the forest one afternoon, Lina wandered into the forest near the cottage. She picked some wild strawberries, but they were still unripe and sour. She carelessly threw some into the river, watching them sink under the sparkling water. Suddenly, a slow and tired old woman appeared on the path. She looked hungry and weak. "Hello, dear child," said the old woman softly. "Could you share some fruit with me? I have not eaten in days." Lina smiled slyly and handed her the sour strawberries. "Here you go. These are the best strawberries in the world," she said, trying to sound kind. The old woman took a bite and immediately clutched her stomach in pain. "Ouch, these berries don't taste good," she murmured. But she smiled kindly at Lina. "Thank you anyway." The old woman slowly fell asleep on the soft moss nearby. Mangita's kindness meanwhile. Mangita was gathering vegetables for dinner in the forest. She stumbled upon the sleeping old woman and was surprised to see her there. "Oh, you poor thing," Mangita said kindly, helping the woman up. "Come to our home. I will care for you." Back at the cottage, Lina wrinkled her nose. "Why did you bring this smelly woman into our house?" she whispered. Mangita gently replied, "She is sick and needs our help." "We must be kind." Mangita prepared warm soups and brewed special herbal teas to help the old woman get better. Every day, she fed her nutritious meals and stayed by her side. Lina secretly poured dirt into the tea and spilled soup on the floor, hoping to make things harder for Mangita. One day, Mangita caught her in the act. "Lina, did you put dirt in this herbal tea?" she asked. "No, it wasn't me," Lina lied quickly. The old woman's gift. After a few days, the old woman grew stronger and smiled at Mangita. "You have a kind heart, dear child," she said. "If you ever feel sick, eat these magical blueberries. They will heal you quickly." Mangita thanked the old woman and promised to remember her words. Mangita falls ill. Weeks passed, and Mangita became very tired from working all day alone. One morning, she woke up feeling weak and dizzy. She lay down on the bed and asked Lina, "Can you please bring me the magical blueberries?" Lina searched the cupboard, but the blueberries were gone. She had eaten them all herself. "There are no blueberries," Lina said with a fake smile. Maybe the birds ate them. Mangita's condition worsened. She was burning with fever and sweating heavily. Lina's encounter with the fairy feeling free from her sister's care, Lina went to the river to brush her hair. Suddenly, the old woman appeared again, but this time she was not just an old woman, she was a beautiful fairy. "Where is your sister?" asked the fairy. "She's out picking fruit and working," Lina said, trying to hide her guilt. The fairy looked closely and saw that Lina had been unkind and selfish. The fairy's warning, the fairy waved her magic wand and said, "I gave you a chance to be kind, but you chose to be mean." With a flick of her wand, Lena's beautiful hair turned into tangled green ivy. "No, my hair!" Lena screamed as her ivy hair began to grow wildly and stick to the ground. "Now you will always see the true reflection of your heart," the fairy said firmly. Mangita's recovery and the cottage's transformation, the fairy then fed the magical blueberries to Mangita. Immediately, Mangita felt stronger and opened her eyes. "Thank you, fairy," she said with a smile. The fairy waved her wand again, and the little cottage turned into a sparkling palace full of light and beauty. Mangita was amazed, but she worried about Lina. "What about my sister?" Mangita asked. "A wish for happiness," the fairy replied. "Your sister will live by the river," reflecting on her choices. Mangita said, "I love my sister very much. Please, fairy, return our simple happy life in our little cottage." "That is my only wish." The fairy smiled warmly and granted Mangita's wish. The palace became the little cottage again, and Lena's ivy hair returned to its beautiful form. Lena hugged Mangita and promised, "I will be a kind person from now on." The moral of the story: from that day on, Lena learned that true happiness comes from kindness and caring for others. She and Mangita lived together happily, sharing love and joy. And whenever you look in the mirror, remember, your heart's kindness makes you truly beautiful.